So you're selling final expense in person and you're interested in selling 10 policies every single week, and you're looking for a blueprint, a guide to do that, and that's exactly what we're going to do in today's video. My name is David Duford. I own Duford Insurance Group. We train agents nationally to sell final expense in person over the phone too, and specialize in providing one-on-one mentorship. If you'd like to learn more about how this unique and fantastic program works with very high success rates, please go to davidduford.com/FAQ to learn more. And in the meantime, let's go ahead and jump right in and explain to you how to write 10 final expense policies consistently every single week. And we're first going to go ahead and start with the math, because I think it's important to know if you have a particular goal, you got to know how to get there, right? So let's go right in with that. So we're going to talk what's called conversion percentages. So there's a couple of important numbers that will help us determine what kind of activity and what kind of lead flow that we need to get, as well as presentation volume 2 per week, in order to consistently hit 10 policies every week. No, this isn't a pipe dream. This is absolutely something that is very achievable, that many agents in our agency and of course across the country in our agency and other agencies as well are doing on a weekly basis. So let's jump right in. The first thing we got to consider here is the lead to presentation set ratio. So in other words, in a final expense business selling face-to-face, you're going to be buying leads, right? So they may be direct mail leads, they may be Facebook leads. That's what we generally recommend our agents at Duford Insurance Group. And what you got to determine from that batch of leads that you get on a weekly standing basis, how many of those are going to convert into presentations. So generally speaking, a good agent will convert somewhere between 40% to 60% of those presentations or leads into presentations, depending on your skill set, the script that you're using, how much door knocking you're doing, interspersed with appointment setting calls, whether you're outsourcing that or doing it yourself. So we're going to take the average of that because that's a pretty good goal. You're not like the worst, but you're not the best, right? Somewhere in the middle. So for Facebook leads, I kind of skewed a little bit lower, actually. We'll kind of start with that. I think you should sit down with somewhere between 30 to 40% of your total leads that you purchase Facebook. Again, it could be higher, but if you're buying 50 Facebook leads a week, I'd want to see somewhere around 15 to maybe 20 appointments booked, whether door knocking or set over the phone for presentations. So, and then for direct mail, usually it's more like 50%. Sometimes it can be as low as 40, sometimes as high as 60. So why does that matter? Because what we got to do now from there is also determine, well, how many presentations does it take to actually close a policy? How many presentations do I need to do to end up with a policy closed? So it doesn't really matter what kind of leads you use, in my opinion, whether it's Facebook leads or direct mail. Oh, by the way, this presumes you're doing fresh and exclusive leads. If you don't know what that means, please take time to research this. You want leads that were made yesterday, that are not being shared with other agents. That gives you the best chances of success. So this presumes what you're using here in this example. But about half of the presentations you run should be converted into policy. So in other words, here's pretty simple to see here. If you want 10 policies, well, how many presentations should you do completed on a weekly basis? Somewhere around 20, right? Could be a little less than that if you're really good, maybe a little bit more if you're not as good. But 20, again, that 50% conversion rate is the goal. It's kind of the standard goal that all of us have getting into the business. So if we want to write 10 policies a week, we got to do 20 appointments a week. And then from there, well, how do we get the appointments? Well, that depends on the lead source again. So if you're doing direct mail, about half of those cards will result in appointments between door knocking and appointment setting. So about 40 leads is what I would recommend. And if I'm doing Facebook leads, I want a little bit more. Remember, the ratios are a little bit lower, somewhere between 50 and 60 to get about 20 appointments to close 10 applications is my goal. So it's that simple, guys. So let's go a little bit further. A couple other things that you probably are asking that are tangentially related to this. So we've got the number already set in stone, right? We just got to do 20 presentations a week, given the type of lead that we're doing to get 10 apps completed each week. But what about some other variables here? What about case size? So case size in this business to me is around 800 annualized premium. There are agents who do less than that. There are agents who do more than that. I just looked at an agent who switched with us from a captive company. His average case size was right about 950 to 1,000. I talked to agents in my agency that were in the 500 to 600 range. That used to be mine, but that was back in the day before this inflation spiral began, which I think has helped us drive up premiums a little bit higher. but somewhere around 800 is about the average. Also, chargebacks. What about chargebacks? All right, and this is kind of a different subject, but I think it's worth mentioning here. You've got to understand that chargebacks are going to happen. They aren't unique to the business. They are normal. Great agents get chargebacks. As far as what's a good chargeback percentage goal to maintain, anything better than 20% of your business falling off the books is considered great. So that means 80% of what you write should stick for the first year. Some agents have as high as 90%. Those are exceptionally good agents at retention, but anywhere in the 80 to 90% range is really the goal. What about the net profit? This is going to vary depending on the agency that you're a part of. Of course, there are companies out there that will pay you 60 to 70% average commissions. We average a commission around 100% for first day full coverage products for our brand new agents and go even higher as they progress and do better. So there's a lot of variability there. So it's hard to give you like exactly down to the penny what the net profit is, but you want to make sure in your process, if you're looking to get in this business, is negotiate a high commission level contract that's representative of making the most that you can, but also in combination with that, getting great mentorship and one-on-one training, especially. That's what we specialize in at DeFore Insurance Group. It makes all the difference, I assure you. And then last but not least, how much time does it take to do this? I think that's a great question too as well. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want something in life that's extraordinary, guess what you got to do? Something extraordinary. And probably one of the greatest things about final expense sales is that a big emphasis of this business is just about doing more than the other guy will, going the extra yard and doing that consistently on every passing day. Most people are lazy. They don't want to do the extra work. They don't want to grind it out a little bit further. And then they get subpar results and wonder why they failed out of the business. Hopefully you're different. You're all the way through this video, so you probably are serious about this goal. So number one thing I can tell you is how much time does it take? As much as it's necessary. It can be as little as 30 to 40 hours a week if you're a really good agent. Don't think that you're that, though. Pro tip. Think that you're a little bit below average, and that because of that, you make up for that by more work. So I recommend 50 to 60 hours a week. That's 10 to 12-hour work days, 5 days a week. Oh, Dave, that's a lot of work. Well, sorry. Welcome to a hard work business model. But the nice thing about it is that hard work really is a separation factor between those who are mediocre and those who are great. Of course, it's important to work smart, but hard work's gotten a bad rap as of the past couple of years. But it's important to remember that putting that extra emphasis in really is the game changer, in my opinion. So in short, that's what it takes to write 10 final expense policies every single week as a face-to-face agent. And if you're looking for an organization to do just that, that's what DeFore Insurance Group is all about. Again, what we specialize in is one-on-one mentorship with pro agents who are trainers that understand the business experientially. That is not an MLM Kool-Aid drinking scheme, and will help you overcome the learning curve as quickly as possible and get you writing business within weeks of getting started. Please go to daviddefore.com/FAQ to learn more, and thanks for watching.